As we all deal with this coronavirus pandemic, I want to talk to you about something no one seems to be talking about, and that is your mental and emotional health and well being, and the stress and the anxiety that so many people are going through right now. And it is so vitally important to address this because stress and anxiety weaken your immune system. Study after study after study has shown that there is a link between high levels of stress and anxiety and a weakened immune system. So I've put this video together to give you my 5 best tips, tools, and techniques to help you lower your stress, lower your anxiety, just feel better. I mean, we're all dealing with this. It's absolutely not easy. I'm in my home office right now. My kids and wife are downstairs. They're home from school. It's really, really challenging. So let me give you a little bit of information about who I am and why you should even listen to me. So my name is Jake Rubin. I am a board certified hypnotherapist and the founder of Westside Hypnotherapy, which is my private practice here in Los Angeles, which I've had to completely convert to virtual sessions. I'm also a former university professor of psychology, and I hold multiple degrees in psychology. I'm a graduate of UCLA, and I deal with people with all kinds of issues in my private practice, but the number one thing that people come to me for help with is anxiety and stress. And this is really the number one thing people are dealing with right now as well. So I'm going to be going over my notes here. I want to give you these 5 tips and tools. Make sure you have them. Feel free to share this video with friends and family because this is going to be really helpful in just helping people to get through this with their stress levels lower, with their emotions under control, because it's really not easy for anyone, as you know. I want to thank my friend, Dr. Ami Ben-Artzi. He's a rheumatologist here in Los Angeles. And in just having a conversation with him just a few days ago as all this was going on, he said to me that, he has his patients are calling him. And I said, what are they calling you for? And he said, mostly they're just scared. They're worried. They're not sure what to do. And he actually recommended to me that you need to put something together for people to help them through this because the levels of stress and anxiety are so high. This is really what people need right now. So that's what I'm doing. So thank you, Dr. Ben-Artzi, for that. I do need to give you my disclaimer, however. I am not a medical doctor. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, which means I work with people's mind. But as you know, the mind and body are connected. When you think good thoughts, you feel better. When you think negative thoughts, you don't feel good. But that being said, I urge you to follow all of the CDC recommendations when it comes to coronavirus. If you're feeling any physical or medical symptoms or you have any medical issues, please talk to your doctor, okay? I'm not giving you medical advice here. This is advice to help you deal with stress and anxiety and how you can lower it naturally, okay? As I mentioned before, I'm going to be giving you my 5 best tips, tools, and techniques to help you manage, reduce anxiety and stress when it comes to coronavirus. And if you'd like more help or you want me to personally assist you, I'm going to talk to you about that at the end of the video. So let's get started. So number 1 is mindset, okay? Your mindset through all of this is so vitally important. And I believe that we can always be in one of 2 states, okay? We can be in a state of resistance or we can be in a state of acceptance, okay? When we are in a state of resistance, that's when we are frustrated with what's going on around us. We're not accepting it. We want things to be different than they are, and that causes a lot of stress. Now, when we can change those things, when we have an ability to change our situation, then that moves us into action. But when we don't, then that resistance puts us into a state of anxiety and stress. So my recommendation is to really shift your mindset when it comes to coronavirus and the situation that we're all dealing with and really move into a state of acceptance. To just accept that this is how things are right now. This will improve. This will not last forever. This will pass. But right now, things are difficult. And if you just move into acceptance and say, okay, this is how it is, and I'm going to do the best I can to deal with it, to make the smartest decisions that I can make. It's like taking a deep breath, which is we're going to talk about next. That helps you shift your mindset, and especially in dealing with anxiety. And like I said, I deal with a lot of clients with anxiety, and I explain to them that the best way to conquer anxiety is to go through it, not around it. When you have anxiety and you're trying to calm down and you're like, even having a panic attack, and I've helped many people with panic attacks. When you try to calm down, have you ever heard the expression, what you resist persists? That expression is absolutely true. When you are in a state of resistance, whatever you are resisting against pushes back harder against you. But when you can shift into a mindset of acceptance and you can feel anxiety, and please know, anxiety by itself cannot harm you, okay? It's a negative feeling. It doesn't feel good. But when you shift into acceptance and you feel anxiety or you feel stress and you allow yourself to feel that feeling and just say, I choose to accept and allow this anxious feeling. I choose to accept and allow this anxious feeling. That actually begins to lessen your anxiety. Now, it might not happen right away, but don't fight against it. Don't fight against what you're feeling. Move into acceptance, whether it's the whole of this coronavirus pandemic or just your personal emotions. The more that you move into acceptance, the better you'll do. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 are using breathing techniques, okay? When we are in a state of stress and anxiety, we are in fight or flight. And you've probably heard about fight or flight. And that fight or flight is our survival mechanism. And when we feel threatened, we go into fight or flight, and our body produces these chemicals that get us ready to literally fight or fly. Now, flight meaning running away. We don't literally do that anymore, but what happens is the fight response manifests itself as anxiety and stress. The flight response manifests itself as depression and withdrawal. And a lot of people are dealing with both of those emotions right now. So we need to get your body out of fight or flight, okay? And one of the best ways to do that are with breathing techniques, because when we are in fight or flight, we're breathing very, very shallow, okay? So I'm going to teach you some techniques right now that can help you decrease stress, decrease anxiety. And the first is just a basic belly breathing technique, okay? What happens is we're so trained to breathe right here into our lungs and to keep our stomachs tight, right? No one wants to sit there with their stomach out. But what happens is when you keep your body tight like that, you're not getting air all the way down into your lungs. So I want to teach you a technique called belly breathing. And I want you to put your hand right here on your stomach, okay, and on your chest too. But when you breathe in, I want you to expand the stomach out. And when you do that, obviously you're not breathing into your stomach, but what you're doing when you expand your stomach out and, I'll say take a deep breath into your stomach, you're opening up the diaphragm and the lungs so that they can take more air in. If you're just breathing into your chest, it's very, very shallow. So let's do it together. Put your hand on your stomach, another hand on your chest. And as you breathe in through the nose, I want you to breathe in slowly to about the count of 4, and then exhale slowly out of the mouth to the count of 8. And I want you to purse your lips like you're blowing out into a balloon, okay? So let's do it together. Deep breath in. And exhale. Another deep breath in. Feel your stomach expanding out. And you're going to exhale slowly to the count of 8. And you see how already that shifts just how you feel? Shifted how I feel. I can tell you that for sure. That's called belly breathing. So you're inhaling to the count of 4, in through the nose, out through the mouth, exhaling slowly to the count of 8. And you really want to make sure that your stomach is expanding out as you breathe in. Now, there's another technique that was, I believe, created by Dr. Andrew Weil, which is a 4-7-8 technique, which is also very good. The 4-7-8 technique involves breathing into the count of 4, holding your breath for 7 seconds, and then exhaling to the count of 8. So let's do that one time. So breathe into 4, hold for 7, and then exhale slowly to the count of 8. So let's begin. And again, remember, allow your stomach to expand out as you inhale very, very deeply. Let's go ahead now. Hold for 7. And exhale slowly to 8. So that breathing technique is called 4-7-8 breathing. And I recommend you do that at least 4 or 5 times in a row, 2-3 times a day. You can do it as many times as you'd like. The benefit of this is that it takes you out of fight or flight, okay? You cannot do deep breathing and be in fight or flight at the same time. So what it does is it resets your mind-body connection and tells your body everything is safe. You're not in fight or flight. You don't need to be as stressed or as anxious, and you'll feel your stress and anxiety levels drop down. All right, the third tip I want to go over are dietary changes and supplements that help. Now, I've got some good news and bad news here. Everybody likes to get the bad news first. I'm not sure why, but let's get the bad news out of the way first. So the bad news is I recommend if you're feeling anxiety and stress, you really should reduce or eliminate caffeine. So you need to get rid of the coffee. There's a study that was done at Duke University Medical Center that showed that caffeine taken in the morning has effects on the body that persist all the way until bedtime, and they actually amplify the stress consistently throughout the day. And it actually showed that the results of caffeine last much, much longer than people think. And that the caffeine actually exaggerates, it actually amplifies stress. So I would recommend start phasing it out, start switching to decaf. Do what you can, especially if you suffer from stress and anxiety, just lower the caffeine, okay? Now here's the good news. The good news is that researchers found that eating dark chocolate actually reduced levels of the stress hormone cortisol, and as well as helped turn off fight or flight, okay? So the fight or flight hormones are called catecholamines, okay? They're very high in stressed people. And dark chocolate, just a small amount, 1.5 ounces a day, reduced these stress levels of the stress hormones cortisol for people. So in moderation, enjoy dark chocolate. I mean, who doesn't want to eat some chocolate during a time like this, right? So that's the good news. Also, oranges and citrus fruits. When you consume foods high in vitamin C, like oranges and other citrus fruits, these can also help reduce stress and boost the immune system, of course. And the intake of this vitamin actually also helps lower cortisol. It also helps lower blood pressure. So this helps you reduce both the psychological and the physical effects of stress on your body, okay? A study found that people who have higher levels of vitamin C don't show the same mental and physical signs of stress as people with low levels of vitamin C. So that's really important as well. So you can eat the fresh fruits, you can take it as a supplement, but definitely recommend vitamin C. The other food that is beneficial are complex carbohydrates. Now, complex carbohydrates are whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and these complex carbohydrates essentially induce your brain to increase serotonin production, which is the feel-good hormone. These are, obviously you don't want to eat too many simple carbs. You don't want to eat too much like regular sugar and white flour, because these will spike your insulin and then you'll crash back down and probably not feel as good. But complex carbohydrates are not a bad thing, unless you're on a ketogenic diet, but it's really just so hard to keep that during a time like this. Do your best to keep your carbohydrates complex, whole grains, etc. In terms of supplements, I recommend this company called Biogena. Biogena was actually introduced to me by a client of mine, and they are the leading supplement manufacturer in Europe. The supplements are all made in Austria. They're really, really high quality. They're non-GMO. They no coloring, no preservatives, gluten-free, lactose-free. no, artificial ingredients. So I'll give you a link and a coupon code if you're interested in buying. Like, this is the one I'm using and the family's using. It's the anti-stress formula. My wife really likes it as well. I'll give you a 20% coupon code that'll be at the link on my website if you want to place an order for those. So that's really beneficial because that has magnesium and a lot of other things. Let's talk about home environment. Okay, so many of us right now are stuck at home, myself included. I used to have an office. I still have the office. Nobody's there. On Barrington, a really nice office. Now I'm at home. It's not such a bad office, but wife is downstairs. The kids are downstairs. I've asked them to be as quiet as possible. So, if you see a kid walking in like on that CNN interview, don't blame me, but hopefully they don't. But the point is that we're stuck at home, okay? And we're advised to avoid crowded places, but that doesn't mean you can't go outside and take a walk. So tip number 4 is adjusting your home environment and what you do at home. So my recommendation is get out and take a walk. It doesn't, obviously, not with crowded in a crowd, but just walk around your neighborhood, take headphones and listen to music. A lot of people think, especially when they're stressed, they don't listen to music and they feel like it's a waste of time or it's not helping them achieve anything. But actually, music can make you more productive. It makes you feel better. And especially listen to music that you enjoy, that makes you feel good. Classical music, relaxing classical music has been proven to reduce stress levels. But if you're not into classical music, just listen to whatever makes you feel good because it really, really helps reduce anxiety and stress. And the last tip is use guided meditation or hypnotherapy. Obviously, I'm a big fan of hypnotherapy. That's why I am a hypnotherapist. And there are so many misconceptions about, well, what is hypnosis or, quacking like a duck, etc. It's all nonsense. Hypnosis and hypnotherapy are all natural states. They're natural states that we go into multiple times a day. When you're driving somewhere and you get there and you don't remember how you got there, that's a state of hypnosis. When you're in a movie and you get absorbed in the movie and you're not, aware that you're not even thinking about being in a room with 200 other people, that's a state of hypnosis. And in fact, every night that you go to sleep, right before you fall asleep, like if this is being awake and this is being asleep, we all go into this state of hypnosis right here, right before we fall asleep. That state of mind where you're not fully awake, you're not fully asleep, that's a state of hypnosis. And basically the same way that a medical doctor is trained to hit that spot on your knee, I can't put my knee up or I'd show you, and then your leg kicks, I'm trained to trigger that hypnosis response. And that's what hypnotherapists do. So my recommendation is, if you have a hypnotherapist in your area, great. Again, I don't think we can go see these professionals, but hypnotherapy, guided meditation are great tools. And what I've been doing in the last few days is working really hard to put together, through everything I've learned and everything I've studied, a series of 3 very powerful recorded hypnotherapy sessions. These hypnotherapy sessions are designed to do 3 things. They're designed to shift your mindset around what's going on right now. They're designed to boost your natural immune response, and they're designed to help you sleep. So those are the 3 that I've developed right now. The first one is specifically around stress and anxiety around what's going on with coronavirus. The second one, as I mentioned, is just to help your mind and body work together to keep your immune system as strong as possible. And again, the third is to help you fall asleep at night, because a lot of people with all the worries and everything that's going on in the financial market are stressed. They're not sleeping, and sleep is one of the most important things you can do to keep yourself sane and to keep your immune system strong. Normally, I really only provide recorded sessions for my hypnotherapy clients, but what I've done is put these together, and when I have provided these to clients in the past, I usually charge $125 per session, which would be $375 for these. But listen, I know what's going on right now, and if you can't afford that, I completely understand. That's why I'm not charging that. And I want to tell you something else. The last thing I want people to think is that I'm trying to profit from this pandemic, because that's the furthest thing from my mind. What I want to do is help people, because I know I have a tool here that can truly, truly help transform people. In fact, I actually created an app along with my wife called Mommy Mind Power, which if you're out there and you're a mom and you're stuck at home with the kids, there's a program that we developed. You can find it at mommymindpower.com that uses hypnotherapy, meditation, mindfulness to help moms that are, dealing with stress and anxiety. But for everyone else, what I've done is put together these recordings, and you don't have to use them. If money is tight and you can't do it, that's no problem. Use these other tips and techniques. They're definitely going to help. But if you're interested, I basically set it up as a pay what you want program. I've set the minimum super, super low. The value is $375, but pay what you can. If you wanted to order these, they are at the link. You can click the button or go to my website. It's westsidehypnotherapy.com/coronavirus. That's the page that talks about everything that's going on. And I have a little listing of all of these tips there as well. And if you wanted to order those recordings so that you can download them, listen to them on your phone at night, that's how they work. It's very, very simple. All you basically do is download it, pop in your headphones, close your eyes, lay down, and listen to it. I guide you through the entire process, and you will wake up from it feeling so much better, so much more refreshed. But again, not necessary if money is tight. Use these other tips and tools. Now, I know there are some people out there that might want my personal help. If you are interested in working with me one-on-one and having a personalized session, I do have some times available. You can book those directly on my website as well. It's westsidehypnotherapy.com. But I really, really hope that you put these tips and tools into place. Take care of yourself during this time. It is challenging, but it will pass. Things will get better. And just take care of yourself. And remember, your mind can really help you move your body in the right direction or the wrong direction. So through this time, just take care of yourselves. Do what you can to reduce your stress, reduce your anxiety, use acceptance, use breathing exercises, shift your home environment, put music on, go outside for a walk. All of these things are going to make a huge difference. So I really hope this video was helpful for you. Please share it with friends and family, and comment below if I can help answer any questions. I'll do my best to respond. Thank you so much, and everyone stay healthy and be well.